Okay, second tutorial in one day. Earlier today I did Kenso, and now I'm going to do Shen. Woo! He's got a PhD in punching you in the face. One of the more popular characters, very effective. One of the highest damage outputs in the game, especially on pretty easy confirms into HD. Shen is honestly pretty simple, and that probably has something to do with his popularity. He's very simple, very effective, and does a lot of damage. But I will go ahead and give you all the tools you need so you understand what your specials are for and how to play him effectively. So, starting off with his ground normals. His standing A is, honestly, it's one of the better ones in the game. It reaches really far in front of him. Like, notice where his fist is compared to his front foot, okay? This is one of the better standing anti-airs in the game, alright? Shen has another one of the better standing airs in the game, and it's his other punch also. Standing hard punch reaches even further, and is also a very good reaction anti-air, even more so because his standing hard punch actually has a point of armor on it. It has guard point, or armor, or whatever you want to call it. Look at that! Oh, you gotta time it right though. So it doesn't actually have like armor on it the very moment it starts up. If it had armor on it the very moment it started up, then you could use it on wake up, but it absolutely does not. Okay, if you try to wake up with this normal, whoops, bad. You will just lose, alright? It doesn't actually have armor the moment it starts, but it has armor a couple of frames after it starts, and then into its active frames. However, it also does not have armor on the lower body, okay? Okay? If you try to armor something that's low, it won't work, so it's just upper body armor, which basically makes it a good anti-air for hops and hops only. It's decent against jumps, but what you want to keep in mind is if they do full jump at the right time, just like it is with every other hard punch and hard kick in the game, full jumps are really good at blowing these sorts of normals up. Okay? So all the My player has to do, let's say you're expecting her to hyper hop after those two jabs. Ow! Just because you expected that hyper hop, if they full jump instead, they can easily blow that up, so don't overuse it. If you're playing against a Shen player who likes to use it, full jump sometimes, please. It'll blow that up. But it is one of the better reaction, it's one of the best hop anti-airs in the game. Standing jab, a little less risky, but a little less good. Both of these are very good at anti-air. His standing light kick reaches a lot farther than it seems. His standing light kick gives him a lot of reach. His standing light kick and hard kick are both basically have very similar purpose. They both reach really far when the punches do not. In fact, the hard kick reaches just a little bit further than the light kick, okay? Okay? Even if you inch forward, you can even get like 5 attacks of pressure using hard kick. It's also really good just after some simple pressure strings, like you're going to come across, like using standing hard kick or standing light kick there. I'll explain, of course, more of that later in the video. But all of his standing normals are actually very functional, and they cover a lot of space. Probably one of the better sets of standing normals in the game. Let's also not forget the close normals. He doesn't have a close short or a close jab, but he does have a close C. Pretty fast on startup, pretty standard. He can, of course, string into his command normal, the forward light kick. He also has a close D. The close D can also go into forward light kick, so you can use whichever you'd like. They also do the same damage, so again, use whichever you'd like. I believe frame data-wise, let me go ahead and double check this. I believe the close C is just a frame or two faster. It'll be good to mix up between these when you do frame traps, just so that you catch different timings. But let's see here. Shen, woo! Shen, woo! Where are you at? Shen, close D. Let's see. Standing C comes out in 5. Standing D comes out in 6. Yeah. So C's a little faster. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so feel free to use either one of those that you prefer. I just usually use close hard punch. There's a lot of characters that have a close hard punch forward light kick string. Takuma, Elizabeth, Shen, there's more. Joe. There's more. There's like a handful of characters that have that, so. Let's see, what else? Leona. Let's see, standing normal-wise. EX Kyo, good job. His standing CD is, it looks a lot like some of the other ones in the game where he just sort of throws his shoulder into you. It has a little bit more reach than it appears because of that forward movement. And the thing about this is you can really utilize this with one of his special moves to really maintain pressure effectively. Okay, I'll get into how you can go ahead and do that, but his standing CD, when you combine it with his long-range normals and his really good jumping normals, which I'm about to get into, as far as just normals go, his are some of the scariest in the game, just because he can easily land 4 hits on you, which means that he has greater ability to confirm into bigger damage. Oh, and by the way, he has better HD combos damage-wise than most characters in the game. So, his standing normals are really important to his strategy, and you want to make sure you use each of them. Remember, standing B and D for distance, standing A and C for anti-air, and of course, for close-range mix-ups. Okay, next, jumping normals. Shen's aren't really the greatest. His jumping light punch I almost never see used. I imagine it would be decent air-to-air though, but the issue is, look at the angle on that. It comes down at about 45 and it's in front of him, right? Looks like it might be decent air-to-air, but look at this. His jumping CD reaches even further, has a similar angle, and his arm is way outside the reach of his body. This is even better air-to-air, and it's really good air-to-ground as well, okay? It's just a matter of timing. Hit the CD on the way up or just before the peak to get a good air-to-air, and hit it on the way down for good air-to-ground. This doesn't miss on anybody when they're crouching if you time it right, okay? Now, his jumping light kick always misses on all crouchers. This is basically air-to-air only. Don't overuse it, but honestly, if you're going to air-to-air, CD is good too. Smack. Don't forget what his degree is in. As long as you don't forget what Shen Wu's PhD is in, you can't go wrong with this character. Alright, A and B, somewhat underwhelming. Jumping C has a really good air-to-ground angle. It comes down at about 30. Every once in a while, jump in with this if you know they're going to be blocking. But CD has more block stun. But just as a way of mixing up, when you jump in with Shen, sometimes use CD, or should I say predominantly, but mix up between CD and C and D. Okay? These are all decent against jump-ins. D has a lot of reach on it, and it's actually pretty good air-to-air. As far as on the ground, though, it's pretty decent there as well. Now, his jumping D, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, has a really tiny cross-up hitbox on it. Or you know what? It's the C. Come on, I got this. I got this. I got it to work. There it is. Woo! I'm not going to try again. Just rewind. Watch that again. That crossed up. Yes! So his C can cross up. I'm pretty sure his D can as well. If someone could verify or show me a video of that, I'd really appreciate that. But the cross-up hitbox on these is so small. It is so small, it's often not worth going for. Like, unless you have a setup like this, unless you have a setup, it's really not going to work. Notice that on block, this kind of doesn't work. Like, you got to step forward to make that work. Honestly, even though he has a cross-up, technically two, if I'm not mistaken. I know the C does, I'm not sure about the D. It's not something you really need to go for. When it comes to Shen, you don't have a cross-up that's going to be feasible in a match where your opponent is smart, is moving around, knows how to play the game. So with that in mind, I will show you what you should be thinking about if you get a hard knockdown. Don't worry about cross-ups. Instead, I'll show you a different way of thinking about KOF offense that does exactly what you need to do. And I'll show you how Shen is better at it than most characters. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the jumping. Crouching. His crouching B and crouching A are fairly standard. You can chain them into each other. However, if you do start with a low jab, you're not going to be getting as many attacks. His crouching short reaches a little further, the light kick, excuse me. Okay, but the thing is, the crouching light kick isn't cancelable, but the jab is, okay? And this can be used for all manner of things. Let's see. Primarily, though, you're not going to be using crouch jab a whole lot unless you really, really, really want to use it, like in particular strings. You can use it to try to mix up your close range approach, but quite honestly, most Shen players just sort of mix up between crouching attacks of different variants, like time, and then they choose to mix that up with rehops, frame traps, run-up command grab, run-up throw, etc. I'll cover a little bit more. As far as his shorts and jabs go, they're pretty standard, nothing really incredible about them. What you do want to know, though, is that, let's see, what's a good way to put this? That's down C, down B is +2, down A is +2. These are both +2 on block, so feel free to try a frame trap or whatever after just one of either attack. Either should be fine because they're both plus on block. Now, his crouching hard punch is actually faster than his close hard punch. His crouching hard punch starts up in 4 frames. Remember that his standing hard punch starts up in 5, so this is actually faster, okay? Why is this important? Well, if you're defending yourself, crouching C will be faster than standing up and hitting close C. Let's say Maya's in your face doing a string here. Okay, let's say she runs up to you and does that. You could try to hit close C, but that might be too slow. Crouching C, because it's a little faster, just might have that extra bit of speed that you need so that you don't lose in the exchange. Also, on the crouching C, you can still go into the command normal, into all of your bread and butter combos and everything else. I should also let you know, his crouching C, it is possible to link into it if a crouching light kick connects. Not gonna show you that one yet. Alright. So the thing about it is, if you ever wanted to do an empty jump mix-up with Shen and said, but what do I get off of crouching light kicks? Well, when I get to the combo section, I'll let you know, again, that you don't get anything off crouching light kicks, but I do want to get over, I want to explain to you what you can use in KOF so that you don't really need confirms off of lows in order to get good damage in mix-ups. Okay? But this is a difficult link, but if you can land this, this gives credence to your empty jump mix-ups. Okay? If you ever want to do an empty jump mix-up into a low, Shen can do something off of it. You just have to be good at this one-frame link. Oh! I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you. Alright. It's doable, but it's difficult. Just know that. If you want to be a top-level Shen player, you should learn how to do that link. Beginners, don't worry about it a whole lot. You can still do just fine without it. Okay. Ground normals, crouching normals. Crouching hard kick. His crouching hard kick reaches just a little bit less than his standing hard kick, okay? So if you're in the range of standing hard kick and you think they're going to stand up, you can absolutely use crouching hard kick to try to keep them crouch blocking. And there's a fun trick you can do with Shen if you really know they're going to crouch block. I mean, there's a couple things. I'll go into that when I get to that special move. But, basically, after you do a string, you can use crouching D to try to continue the pressure. Okay? Mix this up with rehops, with run-up throws, with run-up frame traps, etc., etc. All the stuff that every character can do for your basic mix-ups and pressure. Oh, I'm too slow. Alrighty. Okay, next is going to be his command normal, forward light kick. It's not good on its own. It's too slow. It doesn't really anti-air effectively. You might get lucky and they might hop into it, but you're not going to get anything off of it. It is cancelable on its own though. So if you really wanted, you could try something like that. You can absolutely cancel it into things, and you do get the same combos that you would normally get. Okay. Like all the same combos you would get when it's by itself, you could still do it, you know. I mean, all the combos you get when it's with a string, like this, you can still do all of those combos when it's just by itself. Okay? But it's honestly not that useful by itself. Usually what you want to do is you want to chain into it from a crouching C or from a close C. But keep in mind, that's not the only thing you could chain it from. You could chain it from a standing jab, from a close hard kick, from a low jab even. Even from a crouching hard kick. Okay? So you can absolutely keep your offense fresh by chaining different things into it. So make sure that you utilize it. Okay, next, normal throw. Remember, the passive move is on. If you're unfamiliar with passive move, if they get knocked down, they will do a quick roll. If it's possible, if the passive move is on. Notice that if I land, say, this command grab here, quick roll. Now watch the normal throw. Down on the ground and gets up slowly. Alright, this is not an untechable knockdown. This throw grants you a nice mix-up that is a little bit different based on the character, okay? But what you can do here is if you roll right away, do you think Shen's going to be on the left or on the right? Just think about that for a second. Because you're wrong! You all guessed left. Ha! That's why that mix-up is good. Okay? Now, against some characters, I believe this does cross up. Okay? This does cross up against some characters if you just roll. Okay? It depends on the character. But what you can do, if you're unfamiliar, but you should be if you've seen that 20-minute tutorial video, which is down there, if you run and then roll, the roll goes further distance-wise. So what you can do is try to run and then roll first, and if you do it quickly enough, your opponent won't be able to see that you were running, and you can hit them from the other side. Oops. Okay, so that's a really, really good mix-up. It's kind of a 50-50, kind of not. There really are technically, if you want to be, you know, as strict, if you want to be strict in your definition, there are no 50-50s in KOF. I think there are some situations where you can create them. I think like Athena versus King, like on particular knockdowns, has 50-50s. I think. I would love to be corrected about that too, but the majority of situations, you always have like 3 or 4 things that you can always do. But that said, utilizing that roll mix-up off that normal throw is one way to get a lot of damage with Shen. If you get close C to forward B, do whatever you want. Alright, now, next, let's go into his specials. Geki-can, quarter forward punch. Oh yeah! Okay. As far as these punches go, they both do 60. Actually, excuse me. The Fierce does 60 and the Light does 65. Well, that seems weird. Well, here's the thing. The Light doesn't go anywhere. Also, the thing about the Light version is you have no control over it. Once you let it out, you're flying. You normally don't have control over your special, so what are you talking about, Juice? Well, here's what it is. On that second Geki-can, you see where it says charge. If you do the hard punch version and you hold it, if you hold it to the maximum charge, it becomes a move that looks a lot like that super right there, the Zetsu Geki-can. That's what this super is. But if you hold quarter punch all the way, it looks a lot like that super, but it isn't quite. You get a crumple on it. If you do get that crumple and you hit them with a normal, then you unfortunately you don't get anything. They're gonna do an air reset, but you can absolutely hit them with another super before they hit the ground. You can also do this for some very, very good damage. Now, that's not liable to happen. You're really never gonna see this in a real match, especially if your opponent is any good. So what you want to do is you might say, well, I don't want to charge it all the way. Can I cancel it? Absolutely. Press any kick while you're charging the fierce one. And you can just stop. You can charge it a long time and then stop. Or charge it a long time and then let it go without fully charging. Or quickly cancel it. Now keep in mind, you cannot cancel it right away. There is a tiny window at the beginning. If you check my input display there, notice that I'll press the light kick immediately, but it doesn't cancel. That's because there's a tiny window that you cannot cancel in. You have to learn the timing for when that window is over. And this is just something you can practice. If you can do this, not only is it very annoying for your opponent, but as a side benefit, check out my meter. This actually builds meter whenever you do this move, okay? If you cancel it, you still build the meter. You build more, obviously, if it makes contact, whether it hits or is blocked, but if your opponent is far away from you, you can just be like, alright, sit over there, don't care, I'm gonna build some meter. Thank you! If you can do this like 10, 20 times in a row, you should be able to be very annoying for your opponent to deal with. That's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you want. Now, you might say, okay, so you can just do the light one or you can charge the fierce one. What's the EX one? The EX one is really quick, but it's also invincible. It reaches a little further than the light one. Okay, notice the light one reaches about a third of the screen. The EX one reaches about 2/3 of the screen. Okay, and it does launch them into the air so that you can actually land combos afterwards. It's feasible. Now let's just go over these one more time just so you can see. They don't have any low body invincibility, in fact any fierce either, and no armor. The EX one though does. The EX one is full body invincible, so you absolutely can wake up with this. But Shen has some other good wake up options too, which I'll get to in a moment. But what this is for, primarily, you want to use the fierce one to annoy your opponent, to build meter, and to make them feel like they can't jump at you. Why can't they jump at me? Well, partially because you're doing hop CD so much, but also partially because quarter punch or either quarter punch, if you let this out, this is a perfectly good anti-air, if it's preemptive, to hops, okay? If you know when they're gonna hop, and you let that out at the same time that they jump, then, oh my Shiranui. Oh. Gotta get the spacing right. As with everything else in KOF, you do have to get the spacing right. Let this be a lesson. Nothing works unless you're standing at the right spot. Okay? But this is a perfectly functional anti-air. Oh, and by the way, if you hit them in the air with this, you know what you get? Anything you want. Oh, it traded! Doesn't matter. You get whatever you want. Juice, was it because he got the counter hit? No, actually, it wasn't. On normal hit, quarter A or quarter C grant a full juggle state. Okay? So what that means is, as long as you're in the air, I can hit you with whatever I want. Okay? Okay? So because of the super he has that reaches so far, you can always convert an anti-air. If you do a quarter punch and they jump into it, and if you trade, or if you win, you can always convert it into bigger damage, always. That's one of the scary things about Shen. You try to jump at him, not only does he have standing A, and standing C, and neutral jump and forward jump CD, and jumping D, but he's also got this, which is risky, but he can just let that out. Look at all those anti-air options that he's got, and I'm not even done with his anti-air options. Okay, well, Juice, how is it on block? Alright, well, it's okay. Not great. Okay, it is negative. Notice that Mai jumped first here. It's only by a couple of frames. It is minus... and in case you are curious about frame data, if you please look at the description of the video, there is a link to the frame data that we have currently available. It's the same frame data I'm looking at right now and trying to determine what this is on block here. Quarter circle forward A on block is -3, and quarter circle forward C on block is -6. Okay? Those numbers, by the way, were generated by the community. It is possible they might be incorrect, although the numbers are usually very close to being right, or most of them actually are right. We've done a lot of testing on. So, that said, if your opponent has a one-frame command grab, don't throw these out too close. You will get punished. And at the very least, they absolutely can try to normal throw you. Okay? But if this does get blocked, if they fail their punish, you know, let something out invincible right away, so that they know that you're not scared to try something. Okay? But usually you don't want these to be blocked. If they charge the full version, you're going to get punished. So, just saying. Another interesting thing about this is if you look at Mai's guard gauge, this actually does half of the gauge. So if you can get someone to block this when they have about half or less, you absolutely will be able to convert off of it with a guard break. It actually used to guard break on its own in the original arcade version, but they nerfed that. No longer. Alright, next, Fuko-geki. Shen has a back tattoo? What? Alright, so here's the thing about this. This is an overhead. Jumping attacks, except for CDs, are overheads, right? Well, quarterback punch is also an overhead, okay? And if you look at his special move list, right after quarterback punch, it says, follow it up with quarter forward punch. Okay? This is pretty good damage. And you can totally cancel into this. If your opponent is blocking low an awful lot, particularly after this, you can absolutely use this because of how far it reaches. Look at that, 4 attacks away. Oh, but that drive cancel misses, okay. Okay. Oh, that misses too, excellent. Okay. You can absolutely take that, and if you add drive cancels, convert it into more. Okay. Now, this is an overhead, and it's kind of fast, and it kind of reaches pretty far. You might be thinking, ooh, I'm going to use that. Well, no, you're not, actually. Because if they do block this by itself, terribly punishable. Way terribly punishable. What if I do the second one? Well, you can kind of frame trap with it if they're really, really risky, but just like all the other Rekkas in the game, like, they block the first one, unless they really, really are scared of the second one, and then you don't do it, you are gonna die. If they block both of them, let's see. If they block both of them, it is also fully punishable, so just don't overuse it. Use it, especially like if you think that they're gonna be scared of something else. Also, keep in mind, it does not need to hit for you to be able to do the follow-up. You can totally just do it by itself. You don't need to... The first one doesn't have to make contact for you to do the second one. And this will become important when I get to his HD combos. Let's see. Now, you'll notice the little blue symbol next to quarterback light punch. Okay? That means if you quarterback both punches, you get an EX version of the Fuko-geki. Well, what's that do, Juice? Well, it basically just launches higher. It launches higher. So that enables new combos, okay? I've seen it in some combo video stuff. I usually don't see it a lot in top level play, but it does have some utility in that sense. You might ask, oh, well, is it invincible? It's blue and flashy. Well... maybe. Nope, it's not. Not at all. Neither are the regular ones. Okay. Now next is his quarter forward kick, the Ten-renen. Okay? This is a move that it looks very unassuming. It's like, what is this? This isn't that great. Whatever. It's just an upward punch. It's just like rocking out. Yeah! Alright, well here's the thing about this. This also grants full juggle. So, if your opponent is jumping at you, and you actually predict that jump just like this, Shen has two different options for predicting jumps that both pay off handsomely if you land them. If you think your opponent's going to hop at you, fling out a quarter A. If you think your opponent's going to full or super jump at you, do a quarter D. And you know what happens after that? The exact same thing as quarter A. Full juggle state. Oops, wrong one. Oh, I'm trying to get a good combo. Oh, it doesn't work at that range. Oh well. If you're closer, that works. But if you think your opponent's going to jump at you, just let that out. Let it fly. Doesn't matter which version it is, alright? The light does 50 and is a little faster on startup. The hard kick version does 70 and is a little slower. But they're both good at anti-airing. They both have more or less the same hitbox on them. The difference is the distance you travel and the speed. Notice that when you do the light kick version, like notice where my front leg is. It's next to like that dude sitting down next to butt. He's my front leg is next to his knees. If you do the hard kick version, you go a little further forward. That's all. So use this. Pick the version based on how far you think they're going to be. Again, spacing is everything. Okay. Now, okay. So, Juice, does it have any use in like close range strings? Can you combo into it? Why would I want to use it? But Marco, what's the difference? Alright. You can combo into it and definitely do like a pretty penny if you add super or whatever else, but when I get to the combo section, you'll see that he has better options to combo into usually. However, this is very useful in particular juggle combos like so. Okay? Especially drive canceling into it. Drive canceling into quarter B or quarter D is a lot of the time what gives him his best combos overall in HD and in general. Okay, this is a move you're going to use a lot in your combos that involve a drive cancel usually. Let's see. EX version, is it any good? Well, yes it is. EX version is going to be one of your preferred combo options, especially if you only have a bar. Okay, it launches your opponent really, really, really high. That height allows some pretty ridiculous stuff. Oh, I wish. Woo! That's some combo video stuff. Have fun with that. Not for beginners. Don't worry about it. Just for fun. So, if you actually land a string with Shen, the EX version of this leads into really big damage, whether you drive cancel and add more meter or not, okay? Just for one bar. There's a lot you can do with it, okay? But, let's see. It is, as I said though, mostly for combos. You don't want to throw this out to anti-air. It's not worth it. To make the EX worth it, you want both of these hits, which is what's going to happen if you combo into it, okay? Let's see. What about on block? Well, it's okay on block. Not the greatest, though. Okay? It's going to be negative for both versions. Okay? Notice that the hard kick version, though, my jumps first, but not very late. Shen jumps almost immediately after my. This is actually -2 on block. Okay? You can actually utilize some mix-ups on this depending on the person you're playing against. okay? In fact, if you use this string from a little further away, because of that extra distance between you, it doesn't hit on the first frame, and this is actually, it looks like even on block. Okay? This depends on where you use the close C. If you do the close C as soon as possible, excuse me, as close as possible, notice that we both jump at the exact same time. That's not -2 anymore. If you do this, this is now even on block. That's one thing. Another thing is close normals reach at different ranges. If you do this, it won't work at all. And if you're just a hair out, then they can't jump right there. And if they tried to do something, that would hit. And if that does hit, full juggle, remember? So you can use it in some very interesting poke strings, depending on the range that you activate close C at, but don't get predictable. Don't always do forward B. Don't forget about guard cancel rolls and blowbacks and all the other great stuff that this game has as far as defensive options. Now, what about on Wake Up? Juice, is it any good? And no, it's not. Light, no. Hard, no. EX, no. Nope. How about upper body? No, no, don't bother. Let's see. Next move, Duncan. Has nobody made a Dunkin' Donuts joke yet with this move? Somebody make a Dunkin' Donuts joke. Just go ahead. I give you my permission. Now, half circle back forward punch. This is a command grab. This is a command grab, and it does 120. Okay. And it does the same regardless of which version it is. Okay. So both of these moves are, if you do the meterless one, it's identical. If you land the EX one, this causes a ground crumple, just like that charge punch does, okay? And what happens in that case, what happens in the case of the crumple, as before, if you use a normal, you know, they're gonna air reset out, so you can use the EX kick to get a good combo there, or you could just super again. You could also do this. You could go into the Fuko-geki, the overhead, or you could just super. You know, you have a few options there. But on whiff, it's pretty terrible. Look at that whiff animation. Ah, stuck. Ah, God. Don't miss with that. Don't miss. If you miss, you might get punished, okay? But this is one of the cornerstones of his offense, okay? If your opponent is blocking, you can always threaten with it by doing a run-up command grab. Oh, God. Okay, and being able to do that motion from a run is going to get you a lot of success when it comes to people that block too much. And if they stop blocking, then go ahead and go into your other stuff. Like hopping in again, or hopping in again, or hopping in again, or empty jump low into the link! Woo! Practice all of that so you can get a good functional offense with Shen. In the case of the command grab, though, you use it against overly defensive opponents. And you can land the EX one, especially off of an empty jump. If they try to defend the empty jump by hitting a button after you land, you absolutely can go through whatever they try by using that. And the reason is because it is invincible on startup. Okay? This will go through various attacks. Okay? Is it 1 frame, Juice? No. It starts up in 3 frames, okay? It is faster than the regular grab. The regular grab is about 5 or 6 frames. I think it's 5 based on the data. But the EX grab is a little faster, and it does have full invincibility for its startup. So you can use it on wake up, and you can use it off of an empty jump to catch someone who tries to defend themselves improperly from that empty jump. Okay. Last but not least, Duncan repel. You might have noticed on the Fuko-geki, he's got a quarterback light punch. Well, what about quarterback hard punch? Well, what this slap is What this is, by the way, I just want to show, you don't build any meter for missing this. So if you do want to build some meter, use the charge punch. But it does do something interesting. What this does is it destroys projectiles. Okay? It does. And if you do destroy a projectile, you gain a little meter when you do. But that's not all it does. You can also use this. When you actually destroy a projectile, you can go into any special move you would like. Let's say you have a bar. Oh, see if I can do this fast enough. You could cancel that into a super or a Neomax or anything else you want. Anything on this list that is a special or a super or a Neomax, you can cancel into. Just to demonstrate. Okay, you can go into any special move you want. Now, the majority of the time, you will not be parrying or destroying these projectiles at close range. You'll probably be around here or further away. So that said, usually what top Shen players do is they cancel it to the Fierce Feint so that they can build that meter. You also need to not cancel it too quickly, okay? Here's the thing. I want you to notice my meter very, very carefully. Watch one more time. Now watch again. When it comes to building meter by destroying the projectile, you need to wait a second. It doesn't build the meter immediately. You need to wait just a hair. If you wait just a hair, then you will build the meter from destroying the projectile, and then you will build the meter from the feint. If you cancel it right away, you will not build the meter for destroying the projectile. Just something that you want to keep in mind. Okay? But in projectile matchups, this is a lifesaver. Kenso, King, Mai, Mature. They throw out a single hit projectile that isn't EX or a super or anything. Parry it, get it out of the way, build a little meter, get back to the game. Super special moves. Alright. Zetsu Geki-can. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. This is a bionic arm. That's what it is. If you're not familiar with the terminology, it's just a really invincible, really straightforward super. Okay? This super is fully invincible. On both the light and the EX versions. Okay? The EX version starts faster, and it does more damage. Okay, 320 there, and I think it's 210 on the regular? 220, okay? These do really good damage, and these are also reaction anti-airs. Oh, you jumped! Great. You are invincible for the majority of the travel of that move. This is also a good anti-air. Okay? If you see your opponent jump, let it rip. It's gonna work, alright? It has a gigantic hitbox on it. As long as you don't go under them by going way too early, then this is not gonna miss. Another really interesting fact about it, okay, not only is the fact that it's really, really invincible and a really good reaction anti-air, but what if this actually counter hits? Well, this has a very special property. If this super counter hits, and this absolutely can counter hit, if they're in the air and you anti-air them, you could counter hit their jumping normal, they bounce off the wall. And you can actually combo off of this if you're standing at the right spot. That's a lot of damage just for one super. I mean, you just spent a second one, but think about how much work you had to do. All you had to do was hit them with one super, and for 2 bars and a drive, you're going to get close to 700. Oh, missed it. Everything about spacing. Timing. Timing! What if we start with a level 2, eh? Let's go to another level 2. Why not? That's 4 bars. But, if you do wall bounce them, if you're not standing at the right spot to do the Fuko-geki, then you know what? Don't bother. Just super again. That seems pretty good, doesn't it? That's perfectly fine. Just super again, okay? If you do counter hit with this, it's excellent, okay? And, if in case it isn't obvious, I did say this is full body invincible for most of its travel. You absolutely can, because it is fully invincible. Wait, missed it. Because it is fully invincible, you can also use this to go through projectiles. Okay, EX version even more so. And from further away as well. But these reach really, really far. The regular version reaches about 80% of the screen. And the EX version reaches about 82% of the screen. Just a little further, but you are never ever safe against Shen's anti-airs if he has good decision making, okay? He's got super, he's got quarter kick, he's got quarter punch, he's got hop CDs. He really has a full suite of anti-airs. Okay? Oh, and there's another one. Ah! Now, if you look at this super, it just shows 4 buttons. Bakushin. Hard punch, light kick, hard punch. How do I input that? Press the 4 in a row. Okay? You need to do this relatively fast if you just hit standing C, okay? The thing about his standing hard punch is you can't cancel it on whiff, okay? What you can do, though, is you can cancel the startup of frames of the hard punch. So, usually, that's too fast for a lot of beginners. So what you can do, instead, is hit standing A before you do it. Okay? Hit standing A, and then hit C-A-B-C. Then you'll just whiff an A. Okay? You can also do this from crouching A. If you are crouching, this super will still come out. Now, what's it for? I'll tell you what it's for. First of all, and you should, first of all, I have 2 bars. Now I have none. This super requires that you spend 2 bars. You cannot use this if you don't have 2 bars. If you have 1 bar, this won't work. Doesn't work. You need 2 bars. Okay? But it does 312 damage on its own, which for a level 2 super is just about the same as his EX punch. Well, okay then, Juice. Well, how do I use it? Alright, well here's how it works. I want you to notice something. Notice that this level 1 super does 220 damage. I wonder how good your mental math is, alright? Now I want you to check something. Now it does 286. I added 66 damage to this. You math wizards would understand at this point that this is an extra 30%. Okay? When Shen is in this mode, he gains an additional 30% on his damage that isn't throws. Okay? His normal throw still does 100. And in fact, the normal throw, like, it just gains an extra 10 for some reason. Just a little bit of extra. But all of his regular attacks gain 30% extra damage. He also takes a little bit less. Okay, let's see here. What's really, really strong? Okay, I want you to look at Shen's life. Look at Shen's life. Notice that this does about 100 damage, if not 100 exactly. I don't know the exact amount because I can't see it right now. But notice that that didn't do the full 100. Okay. I believe the figure is he takes 83% damage when he's in the mode. He takes 17% less. I believe that's what I figured it to be. I could be wrong. Please, anybody good at math? Anybody who can do that? So, you know, you take a little less damage, and you deal a bit more damage. So, if you have 2 bars and you want to combo into something, this super isn't a terrible idea. Okay? In addition, after particular combos, you can combo into the level 2 super in some situations where you couldn't into the other one. For example, here's a good one. You can't land the EX punch there, but you can land this super. Okay, this super starts up really fast, 3 frames in fact. Okay, it's a really, really good super to combo into because you know that for the rest of the round you're going to do more damage. Excuse me, it's not the rest of the round, and I need to talk about that. It lasts about 15 seconds, okay? I don't know the exact number, I just eyeballed it, I'm just tapping. My seconds are probably off. I got 17 counts, but it lasts around 15 to 17 seconds, and then the mode goes away. So that's how long you have. It's not a custom combo mode or anything. All you get is additional damage. That's all you get. You get additional, and you take a little less. That's all, okay? But if you know that you could just hit them one more time and win with that extra damage, it's a decent option to combo into. And there are some combos where it will work, but other specials won't work. And, last thing, it is his other functional anti-air. This is fully invincible on startup, and do you see that big red explosion that he just can't contain because he's going Super Saiyan? That whole thing is a hitbox. You're not super jumping over that. No way. No way around it. No way you're getting around it. This is a great anti-air, but because you have to input it by pressing a button and it starts with hard punch, you have to think of a tricky way to implement it, okay? And when I say tricky, what I mean by that is, obviously they're going to be jumping at you, so how do you hit a button such that you can hit standing hard punch and not get the hard punch? Well, what you want to do is you could whiff a standing or a crouching jab first. So don't input it as C-A-B-C. Don't do that. Input it as A-C-A-B-C, okay? But do it quickly, like this. If you do it quickly, from either standing or crouching, you will get this. And you'll just whiff the jab. Okay? So, understanding that little input trick will allow you to use it as an anti-air. Okay? Oh, and there's even one more thing I gotta talk about. Listen very carefully. Listen one more time. Are you noticing that I can hit 3 buttons, wait a million years, go make myself a sandwich, eat the sandwich, comment on how it's better with Miracle Whip instead of mayonnaise, and then hit hard punch, and it still comes out? Listen to this. That was too slow. This move has its own distinct buffer window. If you don't know what buffer means, don't worry. What I'm basically trying to say is, when you input these 4 buttons, when you press hard punch, light kick, in that order, the game is looking for hard punch. The game is saying, oh, you hit those 3. If you hit another hard punch within a certain period of time, I will give you that super. Now, if you were to compare this to, say, quarter forward punch, There's a period of time after a quarter punch where the game is looking for you to press any punch. If you press the punch in that window, then you get the special. But if you press the punch outside of that window, then you don't get it. We call this the buffer window. Okay? So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The buffer is gone for a quarter forward punch. However, it seems that when you do this move, the buffer is twice as long, even 3 times as long. Why? I don't know. It's really useful, though. They simply defined it this way. They said, for this particular special, you can wait 1,000,000 years after you press the first 3 and press the 4th and still get it. Now, why would this be done and how could it be used? As I said, I don't know why, but here's how you can use it. Let's say you get knocked down, and you're thinking they might jump at me at the moment that I'm getting up, right? They might try to jump at me. So, before you get up, hit C, A, B. And then just wait. And you look. You jumped! C. Because of that gigantic buffer window, you can input CAB almost every time you get knocked down. Almost every time. As long as you have the 2 bars. When you see them come up to you, you could say, if you jump, all I gotta do is hit 1 button. Bam. Reaction, blow you up. Almost literally, and get a lot of damage, and get increased damage for about 16 seconds. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Oh, too slow. Listen to how slow I'm pressing this button. You can hear it on the microphone, right? That move has many uses. This move in particular, because of how quick it is on startup, because of its great anti-air capability, because of how you can use it on reaction due to the buffer window, because of how you can use it in particular juggle combos over other things, and because of the damage you get, makes this one of his best moves. You need 2 bars to use it, but your goal with Shen, if not to use this move, like your goal is to land one really big combo that's just gonna kill him. But if you can't kill him, but still spend 2 bars, this is not a bad way to spend those 2 bars. Let me turn on the light really fast. It's getting kind of dark in here. Now, last move he's got is his Neo Max. It's awesome. Once he got his PhD in punching, it was because he mastered this move. 450. It is fully invincible. He does move quite a bit forward when he does it. It's not really going to work as an anti-air. Like, it'll work as an anti-air from really, really far away, but it's unlikely you're going to get many opportunities for that. But it is functional. If you see someone hop at you from really far away, you could totally use this. Yeah, not a great use though. Somewhat unreliable. It is pretty slow on startup, so it's really, really difficult to do. Now, this move is basically what he uses at the end of his HD combos to do a lot of damage. I don't really think you should be using it in the mid-range, although it does have that one specific use as an anti-air from long range. You can use it as a wake-up because it is fully invincible if you really want. But again, it is so slow on startup that it's really not going to beat anything except really obvious mistakes from your opponent. It's fast enough to catch a low short, I suppose, as I just proved. Oh, caught myself there. It's fast enough to catch a low short, but if you want to wake up, why not wake up with, say, a level 1 super? To take the same amount of risk, get a good chunk of damage, and not lose all that meter. Or better yet, also wake up with this. Or this. Or this. Or this! Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, don't forget about backdash. Don't forget about backdash. Woo! Air reset. Oh, don't forget about blocking either. Options. You got options. Honestly, though, Neomax, you don't really see it a whole lot. You just see it at the end of HD combos because that's where the damage is. So, speaking of combos, now I'm going to get to the good part. I've been talking a lot about his anti-airs and about his strategy, okay? So let me reiterate. Shen's basic strategy is to make his opponent scared of jumping at him with his multitude of anti-air options with conversions into big damage, okay? If you hop or full jump at Shen at any point, and he is ready for it, and he lands any of his various special moves, he's going to get a super off of that and push you almost all the way to the corner, okay? Not to mention, he could just raw super your jump in if he has good enough reaction time. In many ways. Not just that super, but also this super. Okay? And he has one of the better angled jumping CDs in the game, so he doesn't even need to use specials to have effective air-to-airs against you. Or even ground-to-airs. Okay? His standing jab, standing C with armor. All great ways of anti-airing you. You anti-air your opponent to death. That's your goal. If your opponent isn't jumping at you, perfect. It's KOF. Get in. Run in. Make your opponent do something. If you're running at them and they're like, I don't want to jump, great. Don't jump. Let's go. If they block, then use pressure. Remember, mix up the amount of pokes you use with a rehop. Do 3 pokes into a hop. Do 2 pokes into a hop. Do 1 poke into a hop. Do 1 poke into a frame trap. Do 2 pokes into a run-up frame trap. Or 2 pokes into a run-forward throw. How about 1 poke, back forward, throw? How about 2 pokes that look a little different? Oh crap, those were jabs. And then do the same mix-ups. Understand all the options you have, okay? Okay? As long as you understand those options, you don't need to go for all the... You don't need to worry about hit confirming as much with Shen as you would with other characters. And I want to explain what I mean by that. A lot of beginners, when they get into KOF, they see that the combos are difficult. But then once they learn the combos, they focus on confirming those. You know, like there are situations, like say you get a crouching B. If you go for the crouch C, it's possible, if you're really good at the link, to confirm. But I want to reiterate that you don't have to go for combos when you are pressuring your opponent in KOF. What's your opponent going to do about this? What's your opponent going to do about this? There's an answer. There's always answers. But here's the thing. If they pick the wrong answer and this hits, you knock them away and get them to the corner. That's great. If you get a counter hit on jump CD, you get that super on the ground. Remember, the counter hit CD grants full juggle. So you get a combo anyway if you have good reaction time. If your opponent starts trying to stand up, then you can do lows, okay? And if you do lows, you don't have to combo off them. You could just mix up the amount of pressure, okay? Again, you could do 1 low into a frame trap. You could do 2 lows into a run-up frame trap. You could do 1 low into a neutral hop, or 2 lows into a forward hop, or 3 lows into a full jump, or 3 lows into a hyper hop, or 3 lows into a standing B, or 3 lows into standing... Do you understand what I'm saying? There are so many options, and the game is so fast. Your opponent cannot feasibly hope to react to any of these. They have to try to read these. So when you consider the fact that he can't really confirm very well off his crouching light kicks, what you want to say as a Shen player is, so what? Don't let it bother you. The top Shen players, when they land a jumping CD on block, or when they land anything on block, they're not trying to combo off of it per se. What they're just trying to do is to get you to be scared of their pressure so that you stop blocking in an effort to counteract the pressure. If you want to stop standing CD, you have to stand up and hit a button, or you have to stand up and roll, or you have to try something invincible, or you have to try to guard cancel. None of those are completely safe, and all of them are not blocking. So when you think of it that way, you don't have to land mix-ups, okay? I've shown you the throw mix-up where you get some blocks done, you can run up and throw them, or if they try to tech that throw, you can run up and low. You don't have to go for that, ever, with any character. This isn't just a Shen thing. Just go for pressure. Don't even try to land mix-ups. Just go for block strings in various amounts that you think your opponent will try to beat. And if they do, you know what's going to happen? That means you are going to get a low. That means you are going to land a jumping C once in a while. That means that they are going to try blocking for too long. That's all you need to actually land combos, is to get that one hit and be able to confirm off of it, okay? Let's set them to random guard here. Okay? It is on random guard, right? Okay? You don't have to go for combos when you are doing your strings in KOF. Don't do that. That is something that will carry over from the easier, slower 2D fighting games of this particular generation. Okay? It's not, I'll always do this string, and if it hits, I'll confirm. No. Use different strings, and use different amounts of these strings. Okay? Do something completely different every time. If you do something completely different every time, your opponent really has, if you think about it in the general sense, two options. I'm going to try to counteract this by not blocking, or I'm going to continue blocking. That's how I think of it. They're either going to stop blocking to try to counter you, or they're going to keep blocking. If you know they're going to keep blocking, then go ahead. Go for that command grab. Go for the big damage. That's fine. Or go for run up low, or run up normal throw, if you know they're going to block. But if you know they're not going to block, then don't stop the pressure. Okay? Don't go for combo strings. Go for pressure. That is a really important lesson when it comes to KOF offense. You don't need a cross-up, and you don't need a quick overhead, and you don't need a crouching B that's cancelable, or even one that's confirmable into damage to actually get damage in KOF. All you need is to play with the mindset of, they're not going to block, so I'm going to keep hopping or attacking, and I'm going to get all these hits. And the moment they block, I could get a run-up low mix-up or a throw, and if they don't stop blocking, I'll keep getting these hits. But, Juice, that sounds like it's just a bunch of random damage. Is it random damage? Let's say you get a hop CD. Let's say it hits. What do you get? You get 80. But not only do you get 80, but you can maintain your pressure. Okay? If you jump at the right time, you can absolutely just stay on them. If you run at them, okay? That's number one, and even if you do this just twice, they're in the corner. Once they're in the corner, them blocking is going to sound a lot more attractive, and you don't even have to run to chase them down, okay? And it's not even just CD. If you keep hitting them in the neutral game, or by using these pressure strings, without even confirming into combos, you are getting ridiculous amounts of damage if you do this more than a couple times. You don't even need the combos to do gigantic amounts of damage. I think some players are going to disagree with me on this at the upper level, but don't focus on landing combos when you're playing a character like Shen. Just focus on landing pressure, and then utilize your training and your reaction time so that your ability to confirm off of that pressure becomes natural. That's my advice to you, okay? And the reason I wanted to say all that is because his bread and butter combos, he doesn't have. He doesn't have a combo that he can land off of crouching light kicks unless you go into a super or spend meter of some kind. Okay? Okay? You can chain 2 crouching light kicks into a standing jab, and that can go into a super. However, unless you do only 2 attacks, you do not have a confirm off of crouching light kick that will be reliable or easy unless you learn this one frame link. Okay? And I'll take that back. You technically, if we talk about the definition of the character, do have confirms off of low B, but they're not feasible for you. You, the beginner. You, even the intermediate player. You, the person who has not poured in the practice time you need to be able to confirm off of those 2 hits, okay? This will take a lot of time for you to ever even consider using a combo like this in a real match. I still don't use it, and I don't use it because I feel it's not worth the risk, and to be quite honest, I don't do it 100% of the time. I can't. Maybe you can, and I wish you luck. But this is what is reliable. This this link from crouching B to crouching C, it's difficult because it is a 1-frame link. So Juice, why would you recommend it? Because it's also a frame trap on block. If they block the low B, and then you go for the close C as soon as possible, but they try something, then that is going to hit. Not only is it going to hit, but you can go into the forward light kick on that hit. Okay, so even if you do it just by itself, you are going to be able to get damage off of this, and pressure off of this, and various other opportunities off of this, okay? Okay, and I just want to spell it out in case you haven't seen it thus far in the video. When you go for pressure with Shen, utilize the fierce Geki-can feint, okay? Cancel into it at different times, okay? Utilize it, okay? If you utilize this, your opponent won't know exactly what to do. And there's plenty of things that you can do to your opponent if you're point blank and then you do the Geki-can feint. Let me just give you an example of some of the options you have. Number 1 is you could try to immediate crouching hard kick if you think that they're going to try to jump away or attack too soon. Okay? That's one thing you could do. Another thing you could do is hit standing hard punch. And if they try a standing poke or if they try to jump or something, you'll catch, and they might even touch your armor, in which case you will win. Okay? Another thing you could do, is you could run forward into another close hard punch if they're blocking too much, and you could repeat the loop. Okay? That's another thing you could do. Oh, and here's another thing you could do. Charge it until you think your opponent is going to stop blocking, then let it out. Now, that's also tricky. If you keep canceling this right away, that sets up a baseline expectation of he's going to cancel this right away. Well, don't cancel it right away. Wait and then cancel, or wait and then let it fly. You'd be surprised how often this actually hits. You could standing D. You could standing B. You could even standing A on some characters. I think that might be a corner thing. Hold on. Nope, works there. You have options. Oh, I forgot the easiest one. Hop in. More pressure. Okay? Utilizing all this stuff and understanding to go for pressure instead of mix-ups when you play with Shen, and incorporating empty jump command grab, EX, because it is invincible. Incorporating empty jump EX command grab, empty jump low, especially into the 1-frame link. Run up normal throw, run up command grab, and the various fundamental mix-up options that every character has are how you want to frame your offensive game plan. And defensive, your goal is very linear. Get an anti-air. If they jump at you, bam, 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 counter hit. You're gonna get a super, so go for that. And plus, not to mention, if they jump at you a lot, don't forget, hyper hop CD. You can think of it as an anti-air. If they're in the air and if you're in the air, they're in the air, and you hit a CD, you're probably gonna win. That's an anti-air, and you're on offense now. Follow him when he does the tech roll and get into that offensive mindset at that point. Whew! So, now let's get into the combos. That took a while, but I really wanted to take my time so that you understood what exactly I'm talking about. As far as his combos, okay? As I said, because you don't have a good reliable one off crouching B except for the link, you need to know what combos you have outside of that. And usually, Not a whole lot. All roads pretty much lead to close C, forward B. Okay? And if you do land the link, you get the same combos. Okay? But, by itself for no meter, command grab is 239. The command grab is going to be the best damage. Okay? You can combo into... no, not that. You can combo into quarter A if you're feeling lucky, or if you want to try to mix up off of that hit. But you could just cancel this into command grab. Even at max range, this will still work. Excuse me. If you're 1 pixel inside of max range, this will still work. However, EX will work at that range. Just so you understand. And if you do land this, you can absolutely drive cancel it into bigger damage. You could drive cancel it into either super. Okay? Drive canceling it into other things is not going to be worthwhile. Okay? You should also know, on this particular drive cancel, this does not work on every character in the game if they have a screen behind them, okay? If you land this command grab and your opponent is in the corner, this works on every character in the game. But if they are not in the corner, this doesn't work on everyone. So this is one of the rare cases of character specifics that exist in KOF13. Usually there's very few. But in Shen's case, this doesn't work on everyone, so you will want to go into training mode maybe at random, try every character, see who it does work on if you do want to utilize this mid-screen. Okay? If you're in the corner, you could do quarter hard kick, quarter light kick into transformation to get a little bit more damage out of it. You could also do this. Okay? You could go into quarter hard kick and then quarter light punch. And then do an EX super. If you do the level 1 punch super, it won't connect because it's too slow. Okay? At any point, if you want to do this drive cancel but not spend meter, you could do something like this. Oh, dropped it. Wait, does that work? Let me make sure this works. Oh, I don't think that works. I might be doing it too slow, but you could just do this. Okay? The quarter light punch, as I said, goes into a juggle state. So, you could cancel it into the quarter C and then feint. Okay? So you could spend no meter on that drive cancel if you really wanted, just to mix them up. Now, let's see, what else can you do? Honestly, I combo to command grab most of the time, and usually I just drive cancel it into a super. Or I'll just do the super off of the 2 hits without using the command grab, so I don't spend the drive meter. Quite honestly, this is going to be the combo that gets you the most mileage and the one you're going to be using the most of. You're not really going to be using a whole lot else. Sometimes you'll just go into a super without drive canceling, but if you don't want to spend any meter, that's pretty much your best choice. If you do have 1 bar though, you absolutely can go a little better. Okay, this combo does 390. Okay, if you were to compare it to say this, it does a little bit more, 329 there, see? So, if you do use this combo, you can extend it if you drive cancel. Okay? Not only does this kind of carry pretty far, but this allows the possibility of adding even more damage to it. Okay? That was 484 for just 1 bar and 1 drive. What if I had another bar to start? Well, go into a super. Okay? You can land either super in this case. Okay? That's going to be really, really good damage. Now, if they're in the corner, if you do go into the quarter forward hard kick, another different 2-bar combo opens up. Excuse me, 3 bars. Watch this. Okay, you can do hard kick, light kick, and then land the level 2 transformation super. Okay. However, you can still do the Fuko-geki in the middle if you would prefer. Same timing, slight delay, just have to time it right. In fact, yeah, if you only want to spend just 3 bars no drive, you could just do quarter hard kick, quarter light kick. But if you add the Fuko-geki as a drive cancel, you get even more damage, and then you get to finish the same way. Okay, and again, you've got them cornered, and you're transformed. You just did 630, hit them just once. Pa! 310. Big damage. That's what I like to call big damage. Shoutouts to CVS2. Please make a CVS3. And don't let Capcom make it either. Thank you. Alright. Let's see. Honestly, those are the combos that I use most of the time. Those are some simple combos that, if you just practice those, you're not really going to need much else. Shen has a lot of corner cases when it comes to combos. I would just say the only other thing you need to learn is how to HD properly. Pretty much it. And so I will show you. There are 2 variants to his HD combos, okay? There's one corner carry version and one corner version. And for either HD combo, it is very easy to simply finish by spending 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 bars, okay? Let me show you how the corner carry does 2 and 3 and 4 bars, and then I'll show you how the corner does it. And this works if your back is to the corner, by the way. No, that's not it. Oh, I did it wrong. Woof! If you only have 2 bars, you could do that if you want, to do 697. But another thing, which is probably going to do a little more damage, is you could simply cancel that quarter forward light punch as they enter the corner into Neomax. If you have 3 bars, you do the exact same combo, but let that quarter light punch finish. And then, you do something awesome. Let it finish. Raw super. Neomax. Quite a bit more damage. What if I have 4 bars? Well, that's when it gets fun. Bam! If you add a jump in, this is a guaranteed kill, and more or less, since this is 989, it's kind of a guaranteed kill. This is one of the major reasons you should play Shen, because if you have 4 bars, he's dead. Just one more time. Oh, I missed it! Do you see my execution mistake? I hit the punches before I hit the back on the Neomax. Didn't hit the punches at the right time. Okay. Now, you might say, well, what if they're in the corner? Alright, well, I'll show you another combo, a different combo that you can use in the corner, but more or less how it works is the same. Let's say they're cornered. No, that doesn't work. Let's see, you could do this. You can just do that. That's really easy. Okay, let me break that one down for you. It starts off exactly the same as the mid-screen. You go Fuko-geki, cancel the follow-up into quarter hard, cancel that to quarter C, don't charge it. As soon as the quarter C connects, cancel the quarter hard kick. That's how both of these combos start. And in the corner, let the quarter hard kick finish, and then just do quarter light punch, cancel the quarter hard, let it finish. Quarter light punch, cancel the quarter hard kick, let it finish. Just do that 3 times. Twice, excuse me. Then cancel the quarter forward light punch into the Neomax. That's pretty simple. What if you have 3 bars? More or less, same thing. It doesn't work. Let's see. Once you finish the second loop of quarter light punch, quarter hard kick, raw super Neomax. Great damage. Level 4. No, not that. You can do that though. You can do that if you're perfect. Okay. One thing you'll want to note about the level 2 super is you can max cancel it at various times. You could max cancel it the moment it connects, but you can also max cancel it very late into it as well, okay? If you land this in the corner, there's almost no way this is going to miss. If you do it right away, it's going to hit if they're on the ground. If you delay it, it's still going to hit because they're in the corner, okay? Even in a juggle. But the gigantic max cancel window makes it... Oh, I'm doing it wrong. The gigantic cancel window, max cancel window, makes it so that it gives you different timings that you can actually land this. And I want to show you the mid-screen one just one more time. Notice how quickly I cancel it when I do the mid-screen. Okay? When I do the mid-screen, I need to cancel it right away, because if I delay, my drive meter actually runs out. Okay? But in the corner version, you have a little bit of extra drive meters. You can just let that finish. Let the super finish. Excuse me. You do this. Let them fall down a little bit, then super, then Neomax. Either of those combos will do you very well at any part of the screen. Keep in mind, at the beginning of the start of the round, look at this distance we have here. If you do the combo from here, you will get them to the corner before you get to the part where the combos differ. So you can very easily simply adjust and say, oh, I'll do the corner combo now. Even if they're about half screen, this will still work. Oh, whoops. So, as I've said before, there are plenty of other HD combos, plenty of other combos you can try in general, but I've given you the super basic stuff that I use when I play this character, because quite frankly, you don't need much more than that. One last note I'll make on his HD. His HD is the one reason that you're scared of getting hit by his crouching light kicks. If you want to be a good Shen, you want to learn how to do this. And then go into the same HD combos. You can go into the same combos off crouching attacks if you can confirm them. Just learn how to do the auto dash and then get the close C after the dash. This will be the hard part for a lot of you. As long as you can get close hard punch after the auto dash, then you will get the exact same combos at the expense of just a little damage. If we start this combo with close hard punch, we get 900. If we start with 3 crouching light kicks into standing light kick, you get 900. 980 versus 900 seems still pretty good to me. And just for fun, I just want to show you this because it's hilarious. If you have 5 bars, let loose on one of these. It's not going to happen in a real match, but it'll be hilarious. Hey, that kills. Oh, here's another one. Oh, too slow. Got it! Okay. And you know what? There's one that I forgot. I'm so glad I thought of that. There's one more. If you land a close hard punch against a cornered opponent and you have 4 bars in HD, there's a much, much simpler combo that kills everyone without all that fancy juggling. All you gotta do is this. Remember how I said that this drive cancel doesn't work on everyone unless they're in the corner? It works on some characters mid-screen, others not. One of the rare character-specific combos in the game, okay? If they're in the corner, just do this. Don't do all that complicated stuff that you might drop. Don't keep all doing those quarters and accidentally cancel into a super. Just do this. Slap. Super Saiyan. Ah! Spirit Bomb. Or whatever. Use whatever, nicknames you want to use for his really awesome looking explosion supers and everything. Close hard punch, boom, boom, slap, explode, kill. Don't stress yourself out. That max cancel is almost impossible to miss because they're in the corner. Just wait a second, let it fly. It's gonna work. So that said, hope you learned a lot about Shen today. That's the information that I think you'll need if you want to be a good Shen. I wish you luck. And I think if you watch any match videos, you're going to see a bunch of, Shen tactics that you can try to copy from other people. You can play him defensively due to his anti-airs. You can play him offensively due to just his good run speed and hops and stuff. So he's a character that will give you a lot of mileage if you put a lot of time into him, but so will all the characters in this game. I love KOF13. Anyways, thanks for watching the Shen quick and dirty tutorial. I'll have more videos coming. Don't forget to check the resources in the description. Thank you, and good night.